The mathematical term y equals fx, which translates as simply y is a function of x, illustrates the idea that the important process outcomes, y's, are a result of the drivers, x's, within processes. The goal of MAKE is to identify which few process and input variables mainly influence the process output measures. The project charter delivers the why by clearly stating what the business or process problem is. It also expresses the why as a measurable process metric that tells how well the process is performing. Most business managers focuses only on process whys. While whys are important, to focus on x's and the f is equally essential. Remember, if the process turnaround time to produce output, y's, from inputs, x's, is high, then irrecoverable damage may be done by the time we observe unacceptable variation in outputs. Thus the whys are understood first in the define phase. Some of the many whys could be further challenged and the critical whys that impact higher revenue is selected. Not all the input factors x is critical. Some of these are not critical and its influence on the output is low or insignificant. The successful process management requires constant monitoring and control of y's and x's. In order to monitor, precise measurement of x's and y's is necessary. The goal is to control x's and y's within the prescribed limits. In this set of examples you see how the output y and its process variables x is related. The measure phase usually starts with a fishbone diagram and/or a detailed process mapping. Given the clearly defined y from the define phase, the fishbone helps to identify all potential causes, x's, of this y. The detailed process mapping also shows which process x's mostly influence the process y. In terms of x's and y's, the analyze phase uses statistical tools like hypothesis tests, regression analysis, design of experiments, verifying and quantifying x to y relationships. By knowing which x actually affects y is critical. This is done by various kind of statistical test including correlation. Brainstorming and creativity techniques help to generate these potential solutions. In order to reduce these solutions to those that should be implemented, each solution is rated against specific criteria. Two important criteria are how much a solution contributes to improving the y and how much it addresses specific x's. The control phase ensures that the new performance of the y is sustained over time. In order to achieve this, a process management chart is developed that shows the new process flow, offers critical checkpoints during the process, and has recommended actions in case the process does not continue on target. In terms of x's and y's, the analyze phase uses statistical tools like hypothesis tests, regression analysis, design of experiments, verifying and quantifying x to y relationships. By knowing which x actually affects y is critical. This is done by various kind of statistical test including correlation. Thus logically deriving from the voice of the customer, the response y is the output that the customer expects. This should be measurable and have a target to achieve. Y is the output measure, such as process cycle time or customer satisfaction. X's are any process input variables having assigned or inherent values that is involved in producing the output. Thus Six Sigma MAKE methodology aims to identify the input X's that have significant impact on output, Y. After that the strength and nature of the relationship between Y and X's are also established, followed by the control of Y.